Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Monday, the 7th day of March, 2022, Monday of the first week of Lent, day number 2 of Lent. Coming to you this morning, it is an off day for the Franciscan school. It's teacher work day, and the students have off, but it is still Monday of the first week. Again, our second day of Lent begins today. Coming to you from the famed Butterfly Garden, which is by Thea Hall, which houses our first grade and kindergartners, as well as the picnic tables. Actually, this is Jacobo Hall right over here, sorry. It's in front of Jacobo Hall, which is our cafeteria. These are picnic tables where our 8th graders get the privilege of eating outside in good weather during lunchtime. But the Butterfly Garden I wanted to show you today because it is beginning to come back into bloom after being dormant for the winter a little bit, with our wonderful display of daffodils, again, coming in early as they do here in the south, more so than in the north. So some beautiful daffodils to enjoy today, this morning with. As we continue on our Lenten journey, we are confronted with two interesting readings. The first reading from the book of Leviticus, which is the book of the law, one of the 5 books of the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Old Testament. Leviticus coming from the understanding of the tribe of Levi, who are those who are credited or who are given the responsibility for taking care of the rituals and the laws and the governance, the daily governance of the Hebrew people once they have freedom from Egypt and become their own country, their own nation. Levi, from the Hebrew, he who I've called, or he who has been called, or something like that. But it is the further the further explanation, the further opening up of those great 10 commandments. 10 commandments, 10 commandments, 10 commandments. Okay, there are 10 things. Sometimes they're just Roman numerals. The first 3 are all about God saying to us how wonderful God is, which is nice and wonderful. There are the 2 last ones which seem to be coveting the same thing. They don't say a lot. There is nothing in there about caring for the sick, the poor. There's nothing in there about caring for those who are strangers and orphans and what have you. There is nothing that is really, truly practical on a day-to-day basis in those commandments, and yet we throw them out and throw them up all over the place. Just follow these and you'll be a good Catholic, a good Christian, a good Jew, whatever it is. And no, it is not. And so the book of Leviticus has to kind of expand the horizons of those little 10 things, that God gives to Moses, which is important. And so in those 10 things, we hear today the importance about caring for each other, not judging rashly, about making sure that there is protection that is offered. All these kinds of things that necessitate our relationship with each other on terms that allow one another to flourish and to become, again, the people that God has called us to be. We don't take enough stock in Leviticus because it's boring laws, but this part that we hear today is wonderful and glorious because it reminds us of our call to care for one another, to care for creation, to care for what God has given us as gift, and to understand its giftedness, to revere it, to enhance it, and to cause that gift to provide even more gifts to one another. Again, on the second day of Lent, it's not about fear and punishment. It's not about pain and suffering. It is about making sure that we remember who we are and what we are called to be and witness to in this world. This world, again, in desperate need of witnessing to life, to hope, to forgiveness, to love, to all those things that seem to be untangible, but with God become tangible in ways we cannot imagine. Connected with this, though, is Matthew's last judgment. And again, that would seem to be woe and suffering and pain. And again, it is for us to look more deeply at it in the same way that Leviticus looks more deeply at those 10 commandments. Again, sheep and goats, sheep and goats, sheep and goats. Sheep do what they're told to do and do what God asks them to do, and they go off to heaven. Goats don't seem to be able to do that, and they go off to hell. Well, that's too simple, it's too ridiculous, it's too inane. The problem with the goats is, again, that they respond to God's questioning. They respond to God's presence with arrogance, with thinking, again, that they have it all together, thinking that they know what is best, thinking that they know what to do, thinking that they know what is right and what is wrong, who is in, who is out, and what they should and should not be concerned with. And in reality, God says you need to be concerned with everything. It isn't about you. It's never about you. What you want, about what you need, is about what we need. Again, that understanding of us as a plural, of humanity always in the plural, of we, us, and our, not me, mine, and I. That is not what we are created to be and what we are created to focus upon. God gives us the guidance to be aware of each other's needs, to care for each other's needs, and to be the people who allow other people to flourish in their own humanity, dignity, worth, and value. Lent is about recapturing that always. Lent is about remembering that that is our command, our responsibility. And Lent is about having the courage once again to live that out. And may the Lord give you his peace.